The changes to education that were signed into law this spring.
Democratic lawmakers held a listening session tonight with a focus on the changes to the funding for Iowa's 9 area education agencies, or AEAs. Now, AEAs provide special education services as well as media and curriculum support. Before this new law, school districts were required to use all funding for special ed and certain other services to go exclusively to AEAs. That was the only contractor they could use, so to speak. But for special education money now, nothing changes with this upcoming school year. But the following year, districts can use 10% of their funding with a different special ed provider. Money for media services changes immediately. Districts control 60% of that funding for the upcoming school year. And the following one, the districts will control 100% of that money. KCRG TV9's Molly Swain reports on a meeting in Dubuque with lawmakers who fielded questions about these and other changes.
He would never be where he is today without that.
Tracy Rundy's son, Cody, is now 22 years old and still using services through an AEA. Rundy knows that the changes to funding for AEAs aren't all taking effect immediately.
It could be a while, but it sounds like within a couple of years, it'll pretty much be gone. I'm terrified. I'm terrified.
In the past 2 years, Iowa has seen several huge changes in education. In 2023, Governor Reynolds okayed vouchers to use public tax dollars for private education. A law banning some books is on pause right now as it's being challenged in the courts. And this month, Reynolds signed a law making it easier for teachers and school staff to carry guns and giving them qualified immunity if they did so.
It's not easy for me to the average person to understand all the intricacies of the laws.
Kathy Brimmeyer is a para at Prescott Elementary, and she spoke up at a meeting at the Keystone AEA Tuesday night, where people shared their fears and looked for answers. Brimmeyer wanted to know if she could expect to see more guns at her school. She got a concrete answer and learned school boards would essentially have to opt in and create a policy.
I can only speak for myself as a school board member, but I can tell you I won't be voting for guns in our schools.
But for other questions, like how long Rundy's son will have access to services through an AEA, there were no answers, or at least not satisfying ones.
You should be worried. You should be worried.
In Dubuque, Molly Swain, KCRG TV9 News.